Okay, so you know when you hear the word drone, like what comes to mind? Maybe like a high-tech toy or something, buzzing around.
Yeah, just a fun gadget.
Exactly. But when you really look at what these things can do, like they are rapidly becoming really essential tools across industries.
Totally. And impacting our lives every day in ways we don't even realize.
Yeah, exactly. And for this deep dive, we have gathered some really fascinating information for you to really explore this world of drones.
Yeah.
So we're going to extract kind of the key insights about this whole technology.
Yeah, like how it's evolved, its current uses,
Yeah.
where it's going, all in a way that's easy to grasp and genuinely interesting
Yeah.
and not too technical.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't get bogged down in the weeds.
Yeah.
So are you ready to dive in?
I am ready. Let's go.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. Like, what exactly is a drone?
Okay, so technically speaking, a drone is often referred to as a UAV,
Okay.
which stands for Unmanned Aerial Vehicle.
Unmanned aerial vehicle.
And essentially, it's an aircraft that operates without a pilot physically present. Okay.
And what's so cool is how accessible this technology has become.
Right.
Like, we're talking sophisticated GPS systems,
Yeah.
high-resolution cameras, and intuitive control systems.
It's amazing how you don't need years of flight training to just pick one of these up and fly it around.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But all technology, this didn't just appear overnight, right? So where did this all begin?
Well, believe it or not, the earliest recorded instance of something that kind of resembled a drone was way back in 1849.
Wow. Yeah.
The Austrian army used unmanned balloons loaded with explosives to attack Venice.
Wow, so they were already weaponizing them back then.
Yeah, it was a very basic application, of course, but it shows this tension between the constructive and destructive purposes of drone technology that still exists today.
That's fascinating.
Then fast forward to the Cold War,
Okay.
and drones really started taking off, pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were used mainly for military reconnaissance,
Right.
the eyes in the sky situations where you didn't want to risk a pilot.
Yeah, that makes sense. So definitely strong military roots.
So when did we see this shift towards civilian applications? Like, when did this become something that you and I could actually interact with?
Well, that really started gaining steam in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Several factors were at play, but mainly the rapid advancement and lower cost of essential technologies like microprocessors,
Yeah.
batteries, GPS modules, all becoming more affordable.
Right.
And this opened the door for companies and individuals to start exploring non-military uses.
So it became more accessible to just regular people.
Exactly.
So who are some of the key players that made this transition happen?
Two names really stand out. Chris Anderson.
Okay.
Interestingly, he was the editor of Wired magazine
Oh, wow.
before he co-founded 3D Robotics.
Right.
He really pushed for an open source approach, making it more accessible to hobbyist developers and eventually a much wider range of applications.
So he's like the democratizer of drone technology.
Yeah, you could say that. And then there's Frank Wang, the founder of DJI,
DJI.
which has become a household name at this point.
Absolutely.
And they've really focused on making high-quality drones that are affordable and easy to use for the average person.
Yeah, they're definitely the leader in the market, it seems like.
For sure.
So I know there are people listening right now who are thinking, this all sounds so cool. I'd love to try it.
Yeah.
Where do you even start with something like this?
It's easier than you might think.
Okay.
The best thing to do is start with a basic model, like a DJI Mini 2.
Okay.
It's relatively inexpensive, easy to fly, and it's got great features so you can get a feel for it.
Yeah, so you don't have to go all in on some crazy expensive drone right away. Just dip your toes in.
Yeah.
What are some of the key things you need to know before you just take off for the first time?
Okay. This is really important. Understanding and adhering to local regulations is crucial.
Okay, regulations.
Yeah, before you even think about flying,
Right.
you have to learn the rules about airspace in your area.
Okay.
So the U.S., that's the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration.
Right, the FAA.
And they have rules about registration, where you can fly how high, and especially restrictions near airports.
So it's not as simple as just taking it out of the box and flying wherever you want.
No, you could get into serious trouble.
Okay, so do your research, learn the rules.
Exactly.
What other advice would you give to someone starting out?
Connect with the drone community,
Okay.
like online forums or social media groups or even local drone clubs.
Yeah, find your people.
Yeah, you can get tips from experienced pilots, troubleshoot problems, and maybe even collaborate on projects.
It's always good to have a community to support you.
For sure.
And beyond just flying, what are some of the skills you can develop?
Well, there's so many possibilities,
Yeah,
like aerial photography and videography.
right.
Drones can get unique perspectives that were impossible before without expensive equipment.
That's true.
And you can also get into the technical side like drone customization, learning about the hardware and software,
Okay.
or even coding in Python to automate flights or integrate drones with other systems.
Wow, so it can really open up a lot of doors.
You really can.
So let's shift gears now and talk about some of the amazing and unexpected ways drones are being used today. Like,
Okay.
what are some of the things that might surprise people?
Okay, how about this in agriculture?
Okay,
Drones are being used to monitor huge farms.
right.
They can check the health of crops, see where they need more water or fertilizer, and even find early signs of disease or pests.
Wow, so they're like little flying farm hands.
In a way, yes.
And it's so much more efficient than a person walking around.
Exactly, and it gives them much more detailed information.
So it's really changing the way we grow our food.
It really is.
What else is out there?
Okay, how about this in Rwanda?
Okay.
They're using drones to deliver medical supplies to remote communities,
Wow, that's amazing.
especially where the roads are bad.
Mm.
It can take a long time to get medicine or blood or vaccines
Uh-huh.
to people who need them urgently.
Yeah, that could literally be the difference between life and death.
Exactly, and drones can get there much faster.
So they're saving lives.
They really are.
That's incredible.
And here's something a little less serious, but still really cool.
Okay.
Intel holds the record for the largest drone swarm ever flown.
How many are we talking about?
2,066 drones, all flying at the same time,
Wow.
to create these incredible light shows in the sky.
I've seen videos of those. They're so mesmerizing.
Yeah, it's like a giant aerial ballet.
Yeah. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what would you say is the main takeaway for our listeners?
Well, I think it's clear that drones have moved far beyond their early uses.
Right. They're not just military tools or toys anymore.
Right, they're a powerful technology with
Yeah.
potential across so many different fields.
Yeah, and it's still early days.
Exactly.
So we're just scratching the surface of what they can do.
And the possibilities are only going to grow.
Yeah. So stay curious, keep learning,
Exactly.
and maybe even explore this world for yourself.
Absolutely.
And on that note, here's something to think about. As drones become more and more autonomous, able to do things on their own,
Yeah.
what does that mean for our society?
That's a great question.
How will they change our communities, our daily lives in ways we haven't even thought of yet?
It's something we definitely need to consider as this technology keeps evolving.
Well, this has been an awesome deep dive into the world of drones.
I agree.
They are definitely soaring to new heights, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Me too.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.